Welcome to an exciting video. My name is Robert Farrell, Adobe Guru Master with 26 years of training experience. Here's a brand new software tool for making responsive design called Adobe Edge Reflow. Reflow is part of the Adobe Edge Creative Suite package. Now, this particular software is totally free if you already have an Adobe Cloud account. So Adobe Edge just released this brand new great product. It's still in preview, so that's why it's still free. I'm going to share with you my time-tested techniques. Now in this video series, this free video that you're watching on YouTube or on Udemy, basically will just give you a fundamental understanding of what the software does. Now of course, taking my full course will benefit you greatly by understanding all the little nuances, my proven power techniques of how to use this software and squeeze the sponge. So you can find this on udemy.com. If you go to thinklearnearn.com, you will see my master course package, basically my all access inclusive package, which of course, if you're part of that, all current courses and all future courses are totally free. So what is Adobe Edge Reflow? Well, Adobe Edge Reflow is part of the Adobe Edge Power Suite, which includes Edge Inspect, Edge Code. I'm going to have courses on all these programs coming up shortly. Right now, I have courses on Udemy on Adobe Edge, and today we're going to share with you how Reflow thinks and how it's going to totally, I'm a beta tester for Adobe, so I've been using this program for a while, but it's going to be absolutely amazing how simple it is to build a responsive design, fully created layout by simply point and click, no hand coding, and basically take that into Dreamweaver and then fine tune it from there. So let's get started. Let's roll up our sleeves and see how simple it is to create responsive design using the new Adobe Edge Reflow, which again is part of the Adobe Edge Power Suite. So first we want to do, of course, is go to File, New File. Now, if you're a fan of any of my classes, if you've seen my videos before, the first thing I always do is save the file. So I'm going to go to File, Save As, I'm going to navigate my way. Now, what we're going to do here is I'm going to put this in a folder on my desktop websites. I'm just naming this website Adobe Edge Reflow. Of course, you can call it whatever you want, but when we bring this into Dreamweaver with a defined site, it's really going to help you. So I'm going to put this in a separate folder called Client Comp version 1, just in case I have version 2. Now, it probably helps to spell the word client. I guess I should have taken that free typing class on udemy.com. And we'll simply call this project Client Comp version 1. Typing. I got to take a typing class. Save. Hey, you're not here for typing. Okay, now this is so incredibly cool. What I'm going to do is share with you how it thinks and what it does and what it expects from you. Now, in this little free preview, of course, this is a teaser to, of course, get you to sign up for my courses. Now, for those of you saying, oh, that's what he's about, he wants to sell courses. Well, guess what, guys? Just like you don't work for free, I don't work for free. Well, I do a lot of things for free. If you check out my youtube.com/think Dreamweaver, all the other YouTube videos I have, that's a lot of free stuff. But to be quite frank and quite candid, this is how I pay my bills. This is how I put my daughter through college, pay for my grandkids' clothes, and more importantly, take care of my girlfriend of 20 years. All right, so enough of that. Now, Edge Reflow is a wonderful tool, and again, keep in mind this is a free Adobe Edge version Reflow. It's a free program from Adobe, and it's in preview. The software itself is in preview, so they're going to make a lot of improvements. As an example, if you notice your menu choices are very scarce. Okay, there's not even a quit. Well, there's quit under Edge, but basically you'd have quit under File. So I just wanted to share that with you. So the menus are very sparse because, again, this software is still in preview, but it's still, as it sits right now out of the box on this date, it really is a great program. So I want to share with you how the program thinks and how it can benefit you. So here's what we're going to do. I'm simply going to make a series of div tags. So by default, similar to Adobe Edge, this program makes div tags. So I'm going to basically add a box. The shortcut for that is the letter M, similar to Illustrator or other programs. So I'm just going to drag a box across my grid. Now, by default, this is a 12 grid system, and I'll share with you how we can make changes to that. So I'm just going to reposition this. Now, pay close attention to this. I'm in the box creation tool. So if I want to go and reposition this, it's going to make another box. Of course, Command Z, undo that. So what you'll need to do, and there's no shortcut yet for this, you have to physically go to the selection tool. Okay, now the shortcut for that is V by default, but there's no power user shortcut, meaning in Illustrator or Photoshop, I can simply hold down the Command key. So you have to get to know these shortcuts. Now they're pretty simple. It's T for type, it's M for box, it's V for the move tool. So if you simply hit the letter V, I can now move this box someplace else on my grid. Now again, this is a 12 grid system by default. 960 pixels wide by default. That's what this defaults to. So if I want to make changes to this color, I have two choices with tabs right here. I have layout and I have styling. So for styling, I'm just going to click right here. I'm going to style this to be red. Now again, I just want to share with you how the program thinks. We're not going to go into any advanced nuances or power production techniques, the techniques that you will get when you sign up for my full course. And again, if you have my all access pass on udemy.com, of course, this and all future courses, which means 5 years from now, 10 years from now, you sign up for one fee for my entire package and you get all my current and all my future classes for free. So let me share with you how this thinks, and I'll just keep this really simple. Right now is my default layout. So what I want to do is hit this plus symbol right there, and what that's going to enable me to do is make additional media query layouts. Now this is going to do all the code for us. There's no hand code. It's going to write everything we need. Now, based on my experience with this program, you want to use it this exact way. If you try to use it your way, it's going to get very, very confusing. So here's what we need to do. We need to start with our smallest device first. I'm going to take this and I'm going to drag this out to 320 pixels. Now, unfortunately, there's not a way, so in this version of typing in, so I'm just going to, and sometimes it doesn't snap exactly there, so it could be a little temperamental. So that's 320, well, actually, right there is 320 pixels. Okay, now pay close attention. If I want to now have another media query layout, flexible fluid grid design, so by default, this does default to percentages. Okay, right now the size of this is 78% because that's the size that I made it. However, if you choose to, on your iPad or iPhone, make this 100%, I just did that. Now, again, pay close attention. This is how simple it is. I'm going to click up here and click the plus symbol again. That's going to build another fluid grid media query for us on the fly. We're going to make this one, and I'm just going to keep this really simple. Let's make this one an iPad size, which is 768 pixels. So again, there's no way to type this in this version, but hopefully they're working on that. So we're going to change this to 768 pixels right there. Make a change, save a change. Now, just because we can, I'm going to change the color of this box. So I'm going to go to styling. I'm going to click right here and I'm going to change that to blue. Make a change, save a change. Simple, simple, simple. Okay, now I'm going to click one more time up here and I'm going to do one for, actually just let's go with these two. I think that will be simple enough. So now if I want to see this in a browser window, the only choice I have right now is to preview this in Chrome. Now Chrome has a built-in free plugin for what's called Adobe Inspect. So I'll talk about that in a subsequent video, but this will kind of get the juices flowing. So if I go to preview in Chrome, this will show you what the page looks like in Chrome. So if I take this and resize, once it gets down to 760, it's going to change color. And once it gets down to 320, it's going to change color. Now, unfortunately, the Chrome browser is not going to go as low as that. It's not going to go down to. So when we bring this into Dreamweaver, you'll see that that will work correctly. Okay, now here's the super cool part. So let's say as an example, I'm going to click back here under 320 width, which is my 320 media query. And just because I can, I'm going to resize the height of this. So under layout here, here's the height. Now here's the cool part. This is color coded coordinated based on your media query stops here. So if I go here, this is going to be a different color coordination. Now that happens when you make a physical change to your original. So as an example, I've made a color change, but I also want to make a size change. So if I go ahead and resize this to make this smaller horizontally, notice that it puts a color anytime you make a change. Anything that's not a color is going to be default, which can inherit from the parent. So if you understand how CSS works, that's how it thinks. Now if I click back over here, I've made a change to this. So these two colors, I'm going to take this color, I'm going to go to stylize, and I'm going to change that to pink or purple. Okay, let's go back to our 768 and let's just make a size change to this. So I'm going to go to the layout tab again. Now notice everything here is by default. This is defaulting to my desktop version, but if I go and make a change to this, notice that it changed the height. So therefore that's the color that matches up with this color. So it's very visual program. So I'm going to choose to make this one the entire width at 768 pixels. So it's going to resize down to that size. Again, make a change, save a change. So now I basically have three media queries. I have this media query default, I have my 768 media query, and I have my 320. Now here's the really cool part on how the program thinks. If you click down here, this will give you the hierarchy to all the containers, everything we put on the box. Now the unfortunate thing, and if I could be so candid, the one thing I don't like about this, it does not write HTML5 responsive design tags. It writes div tags. So you would have to then go into a program like Dreamweaver and convert those to HTML5 compatible tags, which I have a whole complete video series. In fact, if you go to my free video on udemy.com/think, learn, earn, and I'll put a link to that free video series on udemy.com. I have a whole ton of free videos on udemy.com to share with you how to work with Illustrator, Photoshop, Adobe Edge, After Effects, Premiere. So udemy.com/think, learn, earn. So again, what I want to share with you, if I click right here, I can actually click the clipboard right here, and that copies that information to my clipboard. So I could, if I'm doing some basic changing to my existing HTML page, I could make those changes and then put that back into my Dreamweaver file, which of course Dreamweaver simply writes code. So I just want to share that little technique with you. So once again, if I rescrub this, that's going to go to my different sizes here. Okay, but the cool thing about this is you can choose to basically have different versions of this, not just with media queries, but physically different positions and everything else. So let's say, as an example, on my 320, and again, I can drag that, or I can just click right here. So say for my 320 device, I'm going to go and add a photo. And the photo I'm going to add, I happen to have a cute little photo of my grandchild. My first grandchild. I have 3 grandchildren. And I'm just going to take that and I'm going to put that right there. So that's me with my daughter and her grandchild, her daughter, her grandchild. Let's not push it. There's me. Now, if you don't want to see this grid, you can basically change the opacity. And there you go. So that's me. That's Piper and that's Taylor. So my first grandchild is going to be 4 this summer. So this was taken coming back from a trip from Hawaii. If I can just drop a little name here, I actually went to Carlos Santana and Cindy Blackman's wedding in Hawaii in 2010. And on the way home, there was a major snowstorm, blizzard. We got stuck in LA for a week, and that gave me the opportunity to spend time with my daughter and grandchild. Now, here's the cool part. Okay, so if I go back to my 768, boom, it automatically resizes that image. Now here's how images work. It's not going to make the image bigger than what the original image was. So if I go to my desktop version as an example, if I hit the command minus key to zoom way out, and I increase the size of this to say my default size, maybe I want to make my default size, I'm going to hit the plus symbol. So if you want to make your default size, say this size here, which is basically 2000 pixels wide for a big, huge, wide monitor, which you could do. Notice that I can't make this bigger than what the original photo was. This photo is 1280 pixels wide. So if in fact you want to have a gargantuan photo for your big, huge 32-inch, 42-inch widescreen, then you'd have to downsize from there. So notice how I did that. So now I simply have the photo, and I'm going to hit Command 0 to fit window. So here again, here's my 320 size, here's my 768 size, and here's my full desktop size. And again, it did it for me. No hand coding, it knew to rewrite the size of that. So again, if I go to View, Preview in Chrome, and again, the shortcut is Command F12, Control F12 for Windows. And just like that. So here's my size. I guess I can just shave there too. But she's basically a mini me. My daughter Oh, my daughter's actually better looking than I am. So fortunately, my grandchild got my daughter's looks, not mine. So now it's basically resizes down. How cool is that? So again, I didn't have to write code for that. It did it for me. So my objective with this course, and any course that I teach in relation to any software program, which I teach a lot of software. I teach Maya, 3D Studio Max, Final Cut, Adobe Edge, Adobe Premiere, mainly Adobe products because that's what I started out with, but that's no excuse. I mean, I teach anything that's menu-based, that's graphically or video or motion graphic or special effect oriented. I know those programs and I teach those programs. So again, the way that this program thinks here is it's going to create div tags for you, and it's going to write the code for you, the HTML code, plus the media query code needed to basically build these files. So let's go and open this up inside of Dreamweaver, and I will share with you the files that are created. Now, what you need to understand is if you want the most current version of that HTML written, you do have to go and preview that inside of your Chrome browser. So that gives the most current version to that updated version of the Adobe Reflow application. So here we are in Adobe Dreamweaver. Yeah, I think I know this program kind of well. We'll kind of stumble through here. Just kidding. All right, so I'm going to go to File, Open File, navigate my way to where the file is kept, which of course I put in websites inside of Adobe Edge, Reflow, and Client Comp 1. So what this does is this makes assets folder, and the assets folder is what contains the CSS boilerplate and the media queries which are inside the reflow.css. I'm going to click this file right here and open it up, and it puts the images that I used inside of there. So the JPEG file, whatever JPEG file I use, it puts it inside the images file. Therefore, those files would, of course, have to be published to your browser. So I'm going to double click and open this up. Now, again, what it did, it's totally, simple, I guess is the word. It's brainless. It's pretty straightforward. It wrote 2 CSS files for you. This is the boilerplate CSS file that was written by these guys, which, nice guys, good, they know what they're doing, et cetera, et cetera. Then in addition to that, it created the Reflow. Now, if I could share that with you for a second. The Reflow wrote, now here's where one thing I don't like about the program, if I could be so candid. But again, this is going to change with subsequent versions and updates. Again, this version of the software is still in preview. So one thing I don't like is that everything is called a box. Box 1, box 2, box 3. It uses the ID tags, not HTML5 semantic tags. So I just want to share that with you. But it doesn't do a great job in writing the media query. So if I want to view this inside of Dreamweaver as an example, now it does say that the code was specifically generated and will work 100% inside of Chrome, but I tested basically the code it writes inside different browsers, and it does work 100%. I haven't seen any glitches so far. So that's probably just a little statement to kind of cover their butt over at Adobe. So I click right here. That's going to give my full screen. If I click here, that is my iPad size. If I click here, of course, that gives me my phone size, which in this particular case would then create a separate media query for 480. However, if I do go down to 320, then there's my new size. So how cool is that? So again, this program is a great program, but the thing I don't like about it is how it constructs its CSS, but that's something you'd have to change, and of course I go into great detail on a simplistic, easy, point-and-click way to do that in my full complete series on this software program. So my name is Robert Farrell. I appreciate you being here very much. A couple things I'd like to share with you before you leave. First of all, if you're new to Udemy, I highly suggest going to udemy.com. Now, of course, I want you to sign up for my courses, but there's a lot of great courses and a lot of great courses for free from other instructors that you really benefit from. Sales and marketing and how to basically, I don't know if there's anything about how to play a guitar, but I think that's coming soon. But all kinds of topics. In fact, there's one from Mark Zuckerberg back when he was at Harvard, which has a big response. Thousands and thousands of people watch that. And that's free too on udemy.com. But one thing I want to share with you is if you go to udemy.com to this URL, and I'll have a link to it down on the bottom, this is my all access bundle. Now, for some of you, you might think, well, that sounds like a lot of money, but right now I'm running a special for 63% off. So what does that mean? If I click right here, you can get this bundle for $649. Now, a lot of you might think, well, that's a lot of money too, $649. Well, I would like to think that my master techniques, and again, right now I have roughly about 25 courses on Udemy.com. All topics, all subjects, all different types of software. So if you do the math on that, in fact, let's actually do the math on that. So if you do the math on that, what we have going on here, let's say that you sign up on somebody else, I won't mention any name, but somebody else's course that maybe charge, $375 a year. Well, $375 a year times in 5 years, you're going to be spending $1,800. Now, again, you know, apples and oranges here, but some courses enable you to do, like there's other, you know, people out there who do training and they charge you, I don't know, $20 a month. Well, $20 a month times 12 is $240. Well, $240 is still cheaper than $649, but guess what? Year after that, the year after that. So in 5 years, you're going to be spending $1,200. So my course gives you complete access, lifetime access, now, next month, next year, 5 years, 10 years. So in 10 years from now, when Adobe comes up with CS, you know, whatever, CS25, you're covered. Okay. Now that's also considering that I haven't, you know, retired and moved to Belize or my favorite European city, Ghent, in Belgium. Well, I don't think that's going to happen. So I just want to share with you that my All Access Pass. Now, for those of you that can't afford even that, then basically look at my other courses. My courses, I have courses in special deals running from $29 to $99. And I also have a lot of free courses on Udemy.com. So thank you very much. And the most important thing too is to go and read my student reviews. My students love what I do. I have the highest rated per capita. And I just want to share this with you. I probably don't have the most amount of viewers because I've only been on Udemy for about 6 months. But for the past 4 months, I've been the #2 best-selling teacher on Udemy.com. In fact, I can officially say that I am the best-selling Adobe teacher on Udemy.com. This month, February of 2013, I am the second best all-time seller on Udemy.com. Now, there's a person who, with all credit, he does these technical courses for Microsoft products, which is something that I don't teach, and I wish him the best, and I have great success, but I can't seem to catch up to him. But with your help, hopefully I can. Anyway, my name is Robert Farrell. Thank you very much for being here. And I have a new channel that I have no subscribers yet on YouTube. So if you want to be some of the first subscribers, I will tease you with a couple of little cool things I will do for, say, the first 100 subscribers to my new channel, which is youtube.com Think Adobe Web. So even though I'm still going to keep up my adobe.com Think Dreamweaver YouTube channel, I just want to be more generic. I want to start doing more videos that include all the other Adobe software programs. And sometimes if you just call something Dreamweaver, people get very, very confused. So again, thank you very much for being here. My name is Robert Farrell. Hey, do something nice for somebody today in your neighborhood, or a neighbor, or a friend, or a homeless person, because I did something nice for you. So thank you very much, Robert Farrell. I'm out of here. Carpe Diem 2013. Have a good day.